So welcome back to my home kitchen, and today in association with Margaret's free range eggs, I've got a fantastic pasta dish for you. So I'm using some spaghetti, and it's my take on a classic carbonara, which is easier than you think to actually cook. First of all, obviously with the pasta, into boiling water, just a pinch of salt in there, and we'll just stay with that a few seconds, and once the water is boiling, we can help these just down into the pot, and depending on the brand of pasta that you're using, I'm using a dried one. This is going to take about 7 minutes to cook. So once it's in there, just leave it be, and that is it. Okay, that will cook very gently and subtly. Now, that myth about oil in the water cooking pasta, don't do that, and we'll talk about that once the pasta is cooked. Now, this dish actually gets finished with egg yolks, so 3 to 4 of Margaret's free range egg yolks. To that, I'm going to add just a pinch of salt, a small bit of cream. Now, classically, a little bit of cream wouldn't go into it, but I just find that it does a couple of things to enriching it at the very end. So what we're going to do is we're just going to break that with a whisk so that the cream and the egg yolks have come together, and really just allow that to sit to the side just at room temperature. And then we'll go straight on to the very simple basic things that are in this recipe. So in a dry frying pan, just add a drizzle of rapeseed oil, because we're going to start and we're going to fry the smoked bacon or pancetta. So today I'm actually using some smoked bacon in this, and once it's hot enough, always just try it with one. Yeah, we'll give that another minute because I want to hear that sizzle a little bit. There it is, it's coming now, but in the meantime we'll get 2 cloves of garlic ready. Always fresh garlic for me. If it's not fresh, don't use it, and what I mean by that is don't be tempted to go with a processed garlic. Now, I've just hit it with the back of the knife, and look, that's how the skin very quickly comes off garlic. And then I'm going to slice that up nice and thin. That's my preferred way to use garlic. I just think it releases a far better honest flavour from it. So the garlic's ready, the pancetta's ready. So we'll add the pancetta first because that will flavour the oil. Now, you can use olive oil, but you know what? We grow rapeseed oil here in Ireland, and it's equally just as good for a dish like this. And I'm going to season that up with a bit of pepper. No need for salt because there's salt already in the pancetta or the smoked bacon, but a good decent bit of grounded white pepper. Pepper and bacon, there's just something about it that's magical, and the flavour that works on it. So turn the heat up a little bit and allow that just to pan fry its way through, and that'll just take a couple of minutes. Remember, the pasta is cooking away at this stage. I'll add the garlic straight into that. There we go. And just stay with that and get that nice and crisped up, and that'll only take probably another 2 minutes. Smoked bacon is frying. I'm going to add some parmesan just directly into the egg yolk as well. And that's just a tip that I picked up a few years ago from the guy, and it just adds some lovely creamy texture. Okay, so once the pasta is cooked, we're going to drain that. There we go. And it's at this point we're going to keep that pot. And it's at that point that I personally prefer to add a little bit of oil to it. That is what's going to prevent your pasta from sticking now at this stage, and possibly is where that myth came from. And again, personally, I also like to add a little bit of butter and some pepper to that. And that gives the pasta an opportunity just to dry out there a little bit as it's sitting. And we're going to add it straight back into that pot and just turn it round. I'm going to keep a little bit of the water, this water, because it's going to help to thicken this back up again for me as well. So I'm going to toss the pasta, which is spaghetti, and you'll see the pepper coming around that, the butter, just give it a nice gloss, and that won't break up on you because you've timed that perfect and it's cooked to perfection for you. Now you'll notice how crispy my smoked bacon or pancetta, whatever it is you're going to use, is at this stage, and that's very deliberate on my part. And also we have added the garlic to that, don't forget. So we're going to go straight in with all of the pasta. There we go. And then we're going to toss that around a bit. Now look at that already. Does not start to look lovely. And it's only a couple of basic ingredients. Now this is what I want to do. I want to add a little bit of that starchy water just back in there. And that's going to help because I want to reduce the heat a little bit in that just before we add very slowly to that the rich free-range egg yolks, which is a bit of parmesan in there, and as you can see they're just lovely and golden, and that's because they are free-range from very, very happy hens up at Margaret's. So we're going to work with this, stir that the whole way through. You're not looking for that to cook too quick, which it's not. That's ideal what we're getting there. I'm going to reduce the heat because that egg will cook very, very fast. Keep that in there. So now I'm happy the egg has gently cooked its way through that. And again, if you need to add more water to that, certainly do so. And I'm going to go straight out into the bowl. The color of that nice yellow coming from the egg yolk is amazing. And I want to get some cheese immediately onto that, because that is just going to help. Look at that. Does not just look amazing for a few simple little ingredients. And again, if the Italians can do it with their oil, we can certainly do it with our oil. There's a little bit of that cold press rapeseed oil over the top of it, and just finish that off with a nice fresh bit of basil. But that very, very simply, and smells and does look beautiful. That is my very simple take on a classic spaghetti carbonara enriched with Margaret's free-range eggs.